Hey, what's going on YouTube? This is Nemesis Prime 215. Talk a little bit more about the heavy and probably the assault class. I'll talk about the heavy and the assault class. And since I'm on the assault already, I'll talk a little bit about the assault. But I also wanted to give a little bit more detailed information or tips on the heavy. So starting with the assault, the CR2 is the gun that I use the most. Has a lot of advantages and disadvantages. As you can see when you look at the stats on it, the cooling power, range, rate of fire, and damage. The damage, it doesn't do a whole lot of damage, but the rate of fire is fast. It shoots fast. Um, Two things, or one thing about it for sure is the ion shot. Just like any ion, the ion, they got another ion shot that the heavy uses, and then they have the ion torrent. Now the ion shot with this will melt, will destroy any shield quickly, whether it be the heavy or whether it be the shield that the officers throw up. Or put around you, or put around, a station or a group, whatever. It immediately does a lot of extra damage um, to it, that ion shot. And you do need to reduce recoil with this gun because it does spray a lot. Pretty, it sprays pretty badly actually, without the recoil. And that's the gun that I use the most really. I haven't used this, I just unlocked it today. Getting the 500 kills for it. I just unlocked it, so I haven't really used it, obviously, because I haven't unlocked anything for it. Um, I've used this occasionally, but it's a 3-round burst, and I really don't like to use 3-round bursts on guns. Especially if you're playing a high intensity type situation, if you're in close quarters, sometimes that can get you. Yeah, if you know what I'm saying, that can get you. You shoot the 3 rounds, and then you can't shoot another 3 rounds until you shoot another two. Yeah, it kind of resets basically. And then you have the DC, which I really don't use a lot either. I used it here and there, but it just shoots too slow for me. Um, it shoots way too slow, and it sprays real badly. It's for the assault period. It's not really a long range class, really. It's more up close, short to medium, but it's not long range. I don't on maps where it's like really big maps, open maps, uh, like the beachfront. I don't use it too much. Um, it's not a good weapon for that map. It really is. Some people may use it. They may disagree. They may say it's perfect. They like it or whatever. But I tend to not. I tend to stay away from it. I try to stay away from the assault altogether on big maps. But then again, I haven't used this yet, so I may have a difference of opinion about it. But I don't use the assault too much when it comes to situations like that. Larger maps, I really don't. I really don't deal with the assault too much. Now the heavy, I could talk about the heavy all day. I use the heavy, short maps, large maps, medium maps, open maps, indoor maps, whatever the case may be. The heavy, in my opinion, is one of the most diverse classes. Even though the assault is diverse because of the weapons and some of the attachments that the weapons have, like the ion shot, makes it more, on paper, makes it more um, versatile. But for the heavy, for example, for close uh, situation, like if you're on the Death Star, this is good right here, the TL50. The damage is pretty good. Rate of fire is nice. The range isn't all that, great. So that's why I say short to medium, or short maps or smaller maps. And the cooling power is pretty decent. It's not a bad gun. It's a very good gun. It's very good. I mean, I don't know if the damage really gives the damage on here that is just shown on the statistics. It really do it any justice, because it seems that people die a lot faster. I don't know why than what it is saying, because that's just about the same damage as the assault. Uh, yeah, it's about the same amount. I think it's like with a block difference or something like that. No, it's about the same. But for some reason, it gives the appearance that it does more damage. Um, I don't know why the statistics show that. I think it should be maybe like a block or two more, because if you see any earlier gameplay of me using it, it's pretty good. It's a pretty good gun. Pretty good. This one I don't use much, even though the damage is pretty good. I just don't use it. I'm not comfortable with it. So, it's what it is. One of the first guns you do unlock. So some people use it, and some people like it. I guess I haven't really got a good feel for it to like it. I mean, I did some unlocked attachments, but other than that, I really don't use it that much. I mostly use the DL15 and the TL50 are the two guns that I use the most. This is great for medium to long range. It's very accurate. If you were trying to shoot someone in an open map like the beachfront, or you can use it in a small map like Camino or something like that, the cloning facility, it does pretty good damage because the firing rate and the damage kind of balances out pretty good, and the cooling power on it is pretty decent as well. So it's not something that you have to constantly over and over again cool down. The TL50 was like that, but once you get the cooling perk, it's not it's better. Without the cooling perk, it's going to heat up quite often. Without the cooling perk, with the cooling perk, it's not going to heat up as much. And it's going to cool down pretty fast when you hit that square button to cool off the weapon, or you hit the R2 to hit the reset. It cools down pretty good, and you're ready to get back in the game. For some reason, with the assault, it's different. I don't know why, but when you hit the cooldown button, it takes a while for it to cool down if you're to go into the reset. I don't know why, but that's the way those two guns are set up. Like I said, I stick with the heavy for the most part. So usually when these guns cool down, you're right back in the action right away. The DL15 LE, I haven't tried it with the explosive shot. Someone said it overheats the gun, but I really don't need it because I got the improved zoom and the reduced recoil. Without the reduced recoil, you're going to spray everywhere. It's not going to be accurate at all. And the zoom really helps when you're shooting on larger maps and you're shooting far away. That greatly improves the gun's accuracy combined with the reduced recoil. Now, without the reduced recoil, this zoom ain't going to matter at all. I mean, it doesn't mean anything at that point because the reduced recoil is what gives you accuracy. So you need that on it, and that is a must-have. It's a good thing that you unlock that first. I think you got to get like 50 kills or something to that effect. 50 kills. I think it's 50 kills. Let's get into these star cards here for the heavy. Now I got the supercharged sentry. I mentioned in the previous video about getting the supercharged sentry. I got it at level 3, and at level 3, when you go into full deployment into sentry mode, you regenerate your health. Now at level 4, as it says here, your health regenerates starts as you deploy into sentry mode. Now there's a difference between the two. When you're in sentry mode and when you're deploying into sentry mode. When you're deploying into sentry mode, you cannot shoot. I mean, when you're dropping one weapon or changing one weapon to another weapon, obviously you can't shoot. But there's that half a second when you're deploying that you need to that you're kind of vulnerable. So you kind of need this upgrade, which I don't have enough crafting parts for it, but you need that upgrade when you're deploying into sentry mode. And then I have the ion torrent and the barrage. It's the 3 cards that I use. I'll combine these 3 together, and I mostly use that. Well, not these 3 together, because you got the barrage and the ion torrent is the one that I switch between when I'm not using. If I was to use anything else, that'd be something totally different. But these are the 3 that I use with heavy. The barrage is like a little grenade launcher. The grenades don't do a whole lot of damage. If you play one Star Wars Battlefront, the first one, it does about the same amount of damage. It doesn't do a whole lot of damage. It's more like firecrackers, if you ask me. But they do a little bit of damage, and so if someone kill that person, you get the assist for it. So that does go towards your points, the points that you gather for a hero or reinforcements or to get a ship or whatever the case may be. So it helps, it helps towards getting towards your combat points, if you will. I don't use the shield that much. The shield is for me is just I don't use it. I don't use it because it limits your movement. You have to bend down to use it because people will shoot at your feet. And if someone has an ion torpedo or ion shot or an ion, like I just showed you in the assault, the ion, it has an ion. How do I want to say this? You can add an ion shot to it. The little pistol that the assault carries, the little submachine gun that the assault has a you can equip it with the ion so that it shoots ions as well as regular bullets at the same time, and it'll just melt that shield. So the shield becomes useless in some situations. I mean, it's good that when you first deploy it, it's okay, but you only have you don't even have a full second before they destroy that thing. And most people use it wrong anyway. Most people will get into a bottleneck situation and they'll step out with the shield deployed and they destroy the shield. But the thing is, once the shield is down, you can't move. Once that shield is down, it's like a lag in between the shield going down and you moving. So once the shield goes down, you're kind of pretty much dead. But the supercharged sentry, it's a little different because if I know that it's a bottleneck situation, I'm going to deploy and then shoot into that area as I turn into that area, which means you're either going to get hit and get killed or you're going to step out of the way, which is a better situation than the shield because the shield it doesn't do anything but try and protect you or whatever. I didn't use it. I don't use it too much. And then I got my improved impact grenade, which you kind of need if you're going to be heavy. It helps because on impact it blasts on impact. And some people may say, well, no, that's you may not like that. You do may like that. I like it. Sometimes when you use the regular grenades, you throw them and they don't blow up fast. They don't blow up fast enough, and the person will run past it and get you in the middle of throwing a grenade. So that sucks. Combined with that, I use resourceful. This is at level 2, so I don't know. I should charge. All of your abilities have a shorter recharge time, which is very good if you're using a heavy and you go into sentry mode and you waste that sentry mode. Then you have to wait longer without this card. But with this card, you don't have to wait as long, and you have your sentry mode back within a few seconds. If you so that way if you need it you can deploy it right away without waiting. Now that's good for like bottleneck situations. If you're like playing at Camino, the cloning facility, and you're in those hallways and you're waiting for it to charge up so you can fight or shoot or suppress or whatever the case may be, that's needed. If you're a clone or if you're a droid, that's needed because those areas are so small. I think when you go out to the bridge, not the bridge, when you go out to the landing pads, even when you go out there, there are certain spots that you can use the sentry in, and you can, pretty much just light up the entire landing pad, depending on who you are, if you're a droid or if you're a clone. That's just my tips on what I've worked with so far, what's benefited me, what's helped me to, get the kills that I need, win the game, help win the game, whatever the case may be. That's what's been helping me. I haven't really used anything. I haven't tried this yet. This explosive sentry. I'm not into it. I don't think it's. I've seen it in action, and it's just not something that I want to use. Some people was using it, and I guess they were pretty, they liked it. I guess I don't know. But I didn't think it was very useful because it takes so long to in between shots. You get the one shot and it's an explosive shot, and then the next one after that, you kind of leave yourself vulnerable when you're in sentry mode anyway. So if you're going to use the heavy and you're going to be in a sentry mode, you want to try and give yourself as much of a chance to kill someone as possible, because when you're in sentry mode, you can't move that much. Now there is a card up here that I could unlock. Lightweight version, increasing my ability to cause damage output, which I don't want that. You know, I want to increase. I want it to be longer to shoot someone, and at the same time, I want to take a whole bunch of damage, or be able to take some damage while I'm shooting at other people, because the longer that that gun is out and shooting, the better chance I have of suppressing them and pushing them back. Especially if you're in a situation where long distance, if you're at a long distance and you're shooting a hero or whatever the case may be, it has the ability to take away a lot of health and do a lot of damage to vehicles, to soldiers. It's pretty. In my opinion, it's the best card that he has. The best card that he has. So that's just my take on, you know, some tips on how to improve your soldier, the heavy. I have to spend some more time with the assault to really get with the assault, or to really tell you what tips and tricks you can use to help with the assault. But I don't know. I will. You know, I'll work with it a little more and, you know, get my opinion and my thoughts on it. All right. Nemesis Prime 215. Remember, stay low, keep firing.